Dear friends, welcome. Thank you for being here. Have you ever wondered why do some spiritual speakers suffer deeply even when they are close to a realized age, and why someone deeply spiritual can still suffer intensely? We often assume that being close to a saint or a guru or a high spiritual teaching should protect someone from pain. But one of the most striking stories from the life of Ramana Maharshi changes that idea completely. A devotee once complained to him, "Why should I suffer more than others?" Ramana Maharshi looked at him quietly and said, "In essence, how do you know that you suffer more than others?" Then he added something deeper. Suffering, he explained, is not measured by events but by identification. Then he added something deeper. Suffering, he explained, is not measured by events but by identification. What hurts is not what happens, but the thought, "this is happening to me." He often pointed out that everyone experiences pain, loss, and difficulty, but the ego claims as mine and compares my pain versus their pain. That comparison itself is suffering. In another form of the same teaching, he said, "Pain is inevitable, suffering is optional." When the devotee sees himself as a separate person moving through a hostile world, suffering feels personal and unfair. When attention turns inward and the question, "Who is this that suffers?" is pursued, the sense of victim slowly loosens. What remains is awareness untouched. Raman Maharshi was not dismissing the devotee's pain, he was gently cutting at the root of it. Gambiram Sheshayar, one of Raman Maharshi's earliest devotees, lived this question. A brilliant scholar, he experienced prolonged illness and intense hardship, yet he remained steadily in inquiry. Today, we'll explore his story and what Raman Maharshi taught about suffering, destiny, and the self. Gambiram was a highly trained Sanskrit scholar, versed in Vedanta and logic. He approached Raman Maharshi not as a devotee but as a skeptic, curious if this young sage was truly realized. When he sat in Raman Maharshi's presence, something remarkable happened. His mind became still, arguments fell away, and his intellect surrendered to silence. He chose to stay near Raman Maharshi, becoming one of his closest early disciples. Shortly after, Gambiram developed a debilitating illness. He endured constant pain, weakness, and dependency, losing the independence and identity he had built as a. Other devotees wondered, why would someone so devoted suffer like this? This is the same question many of us ask. Why do good or spiritual people face deep hardship? Gambiram asked Raman Maharshi directly, "Why does this suffering continue even after coming here?" Raman Maharshi did not promise relief. He pointed to a deeper truth. The suffering belongs to the body. You are not the body. Inquiry must continue. Who is the I that suffers? He also noted that Gambiram's prarabdha karma, that is, destined karma, was very strong, but it was being worked out in his presence. In other words, we might have taken many lifetimes, was compressed, burning rapidly like a fire of transformation. Here is the radical truth: suffering is not a sign of failure. Closeness to the Guru does not automatically protect from pain. Spiritual growth is about identity, not comfort. Despite his pain, Gambiram's fear and resistance gradually softened. By the end of his life, he experienced inner peace even though his body still suffered. Ramana Maharshi quietly said after his passing, his karma has been exhausted. No judgment, just completion. Gambiram's story teaches us spirituality does not guarantee ease. Suffering is not a punishment, it can catalyze insight. Real question is not why this is happening to me, but who is the I that experiences it. Suffering in Ramana Maharshi's teaching is often a teacher, not an enemy. The body may endure, but the ego can dissolve. Who is the one that suffers right now? Is it the body, the mind, or something beyond? If Gambiram's story gave you insight, please like, share, and subscribe. Share this with anyone seeking meaning in suffering or a deeper understanding of Ramana Maharshi's teachings, as narrated by me, Krisha. Thank you for listening.